Hi, my name is Todd Town. I live in Globe, Arizona. I've been in the mining industry for over 40 years. And in the early 70s, I was working at a mine that still using carbide lamps. It was a small mine. And I found them fascinating then and still do. So I've been collecting carbides, miners underground mine lighting for over 30 years. And I thought I would go through some of the history of it. People have been mining for a long time. Here in the Southwest, pre-Columbian days, they were mining clay, they were mining salt, they were mining turquoise, and patchy tears were mined. So people have been mining a long time. Once they got in so far, it was, of course, necessary to have a light. And various things were used. I'm going to jump ahead on the calendar though and get us up into the 1800s. And in the United States in the 1800s, underground mine lighting was segregated. And it was the eastern half of the United States were the coal mines, some metal mines. To illuminate underground, oil wicks were used. They burned a fuel called sunshine. It was put in here, and they had a wick, and that's how you saw underground, the everyday common miner, oil wicks. The Western miners from Michigan on west wouldn't use them. They didn't like them, and you just don't ever see them. At least in Arizona, I have never seen a picture of one. The Western miners used a candlestick. It's called a miner's candlestick. And the candle. Candle being what lights your way. And it's a special candle. It's stearic acid candle. They're harder. They burn brighter, and they're less likely to melt than the regular house candle. These were made specifically for mining, these candles. This is an authentic candle and stick from the late 1800s. So then, that's just a quick summary of how we got to here. Then it was 1892 that Thomas Wilson, by accident, found a way to make calcium carbide, and the way he did it, it was commercially viable. You could make it cheap, and you could sell it, and you could make some money. He found a way to make it in large quantities. And calcium carbide, when you add water to it, makes acetylene gas. Acetylene burns very bright and very hot. But there was not a lot of use for it. No one even knew about it in the Americas. It had been discovered in Europe in the 1840s, but in America it had no real use. So he went about trying to make a use for it, and they started making lamps. And the first real use for carbide and acetylene gas was a popular item in the 1890s was the bicycle. On the East Coast, it was hugely popular. And so they were making bicycle lamps that used carbide in the bottom, water on the top, a water level to regulate your water, and produced a hot flame and a lens, and you had good light. So in those days, before 1900, it was bicycle lamps, it was home lighting, it was lighthouses, light buoys, and early carriages, and early horseless carriages, early automobiles were using carbide. Well, there was several American manufacturers of these bicycle lamps, a lot. and a couple of them towards the end of the 1800s was looking at mining, underground mine lighting. And one company, the Funk Brothers, had an engineer, inventor with them, working for them. His name was Frederick Baldwin. And in 1900, he applied for a patent for a specific lamp made just for underground mine lighting. This is a Baldwin inspector's lamp, superintendent's lamp. It's not the one that Baldwin first invented in 1900, but this came a little later, not much past 1906, 1907. Baldwin was making this lamp. The first lamps he was making were for superintendents to go underground and to do what superintendents did back then and look things over, show the miners where the new heading was going to be going, or where the high-grade ore, the coal seams. They wanted to go in this direction, that direction. So the superintendent wasn't under there very long. This lamp worked pretty well for him. He could hold it. But there's a lot more miners than superintendents. So Baldwin, by 1906, had invented, marketed, produced the cap lamp made for the miner, the coal miner, metal miner that was on the East Coast. These lamps were marketed only on the East back then, and they gained popularity as it went. It was a slow process in changing to a carbide lamp over their trusty oil wicks. It took a while. It probably wasn't until around 1910 and then on that the oil wick started to disappear and more lamps showed up. Baldwin's calls this the pinch waist design, and it is the standard. It is the beginning of cap lamps, superintendent lamps for underground mining. In the next talk I'll have, we'll start in the golden era of carbide lamps, which probably from about 1906 to probably 1925, and all the different types of carbides that were made and some of the different companies that made them. Some very different, unusual designs, and what was important, and how they actually work. See you next time.